Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if this is your first time here. If this is your first time here and you like what you see, why don't you consider subscribing? I'm working on some Christmas ornaments today. I was originally going to make these for my tree, and then I was like, I'm not putting up a tree this year. I'm not going through all that trouble for nobody to see it except for me and you guys, but I'm not in the mood. But these were the ornaments I was going to make. So yeah, even though I'm not going to be putting them on a tray, I thought, what the hell, I'll just make them anyway. So I have an assortment of crystals everywhere. All of these are from Amazon, I think. These are just flat back rhinestones. And I think they go from, the biggest is 6.5 down to like 2. So these are like teeny tiny. They either come like that, or they come in little boxes like this. They're not cheap. But they're much more affordable than the Swarovskis were when you could still buy them. They don't sell to the public anymore, but you can still find them on Etsy and stuff. It's just like the price is way jacked up. So, what else? I have a little crystal picker here. This is just a wax tip, and you press it on the crystal and you can pick it up like that. And these little trays are these hors d'oeuvre trays from Dollar Tree. You can buy actual beading trays, but they're just triangular. And the point is to have these little trays with these sloped, my hand is going to be in the way the entire time, is when you start to run out of crystals that are facing up, you can shake it. They'll bump up against the sides and flip over so you can get access to them. So my glue is going to be Hypno Cement. This is like E6000, except it's got a very, very teeny tiny like hypodermic tip on it, like super tiny. I'm not going to open it because it's so hard to get the cap back on. I also have B7000, which also has a little plunger in it to keep everything from drying out. This is exactly the same as E6000, except it has a plunger. You can use E6000 for everything. This is the jewelry and bead set with the little tips. I always forget to take the tips off, and then they get stuck on there because, you know, E6000 is a super strong glue, and you're supposed to take the tip off, clean it out, put this black tip on. That's too much. So I also have over here some faceted glass stones. This is from the UV jewelry section at Hobby Lobby. I can't find these online anywhere, but they're only like $5, and I think sometimes they go on sale with the jewelry stuff. I'm not really sure. So this is all Crystal AB. This is called Go Shiny. This is Crystal Vitriol, which I really like. This is Rainbow AB. So whatever you want. I'm just doing Crystal AB because I got the iridescent glass balls. I would not. I mean, do what you do what you want to do, but I would not do this on like a plastic ball because these crystals, while they're much more affordable than, I can never say it the first time, Swarovski, they're still pretty pricey, and we're going to be using a lot on one ornament. So do you want to glue the glass rhinestones onto the plastic ornament? That's up to you. You do what you want. I'm using glass, which is weird because I never use glass on my tray. So yeah, I also have a pair of tweezers because sometimes the wax pencil won't pick up these big stones. So you can pick them up like that if you need to, but usually the wax pencil, especially this one, this is Vickerer. It's very hard to open. I should have done this before. It comes with 4 tips, the tweezers, and this is just another little stone picker. You just screw that on there, and then this is to move stuff around the other edge. Okay, get this instead of a crystal katana. That was like 10 bucks. A crystal katana is 20 bucks for like one of those. Alright, so I'm going to start off with the Hypno Cement, and what we're doing is starting around the top with the larger stones, and then gradating down to these little bitty ones. So they're going to be really close together at the top, and then as we go down, they're going to get smaller and more spread apart, but we're actually going to be using more stones because they're so tiny. So the way I like to start this is just to put down, I'm not going in any kind of pattern, I'm just making sure that I have 8 dots of glue around here. So some are closer to the top, some are further down, and make sure you stand this up or else it will seep everywhere. I'm going to come in with my 6.5s. just get these on here. And once you get to the smaller ones, you can kind of push down with this, but these are big enough that I don't have to do that just yet. So there's a version of this video available on Patreon where I just start doing this, but I start talking a little too much, and it was unsalvageable for public consumption, so that's on Patreon if you guys are interested in me doing this, but talking about, you know, a bunch of stuff that I don't need to be talking about. Alright, so we've done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm just going to come through now. I mean, can y'all see how tiny that tip is? I'm like a beauty guru. I'm going to come through now, and for every one of these, I'm going to add like 2. So I'm basically going to be putting double the amount every time, maybe more, just wherever I feel like they need to be. And then we're going to go through and put these on. I believe these are hot fix crystals because they have a little gray backing on them, and that usually means that they can be applied with heat. I don't know how you do that on an ornament, but it doesn't matter because we're gluing them on anyway. I did a quilt one time for a competition, and I use a hot fix applicator. It's just like this, except you pick up the stone and it's hot and it melts the glue and you put it on there. I put 14,000 crystals on the back of a quilt and did not win any ribbons. So, but I have a lot of practice with doing this, and they're wicked sparkly. And you don't have to count. Like we're just starting to fill in. But I don't know why I like to start out with that 8. I guess I just view it as like a little guideline. And you don't have to use a tremendous amount of glue, but you need to use enough so where it doesn't dry instantly. Like these might already be too dry. Maybe. If I could get it on there centered. Oh my gosh. Alright, so if this keeps cutting in and out, it's because my neighbor, who has been saying he's going to cut my grass for about a week now, decides that as soon as I turn the camera on, that's what he's going to do, and the dog is barking. Oh, good God. Business. So I'm just going to go through and just make sure those are all seated with some glue. I tried doing this with resin on a live stream and it was just a no-go because my resin's too thin, but I think UV resin would work really well for this if it had the proper viscosity. Alright, these look almost the same, but I promise you they're different sizes. So now that I'm adding more and my glue is drying quicker, I'm just going to do a little section at a time. And it's a lot easier to get the stones on here when you have enough glue because they stick to the glue and then they pop off the wax. So see how a lot of these, see how a lot of those are the wrong side up? If I just, some of them are still the wrong side up, but now I have more to choose from, which I don't need more to choose from. It's just it's easier when they're all flipped the right way. Although Stephen King characters, y'all, I don't know. Maybe it's just me. They are constantly having sex. Like, I think the first time I noticed it is when I was reading, because like I read all the Dark Tower, and there wasn't like there were scenes where like they were like, you know, he followed her to the bedroom, but like they were few and far between because they're on like this quest, and you know, I guess when you've dedicated your life to this quest, you don't have time to stop and have sex with everybody. And then I listened to Pet Cemetery. I think that was the first book I actually listened to instead of reading it. And I was like, this married couple with two young children, he's a doctor, he works all day, I don't know what the wife does. They are just constantly having sex. And I'm like, what? I said, these people got too much time on their hands. Like, who's mowing the lawn? Alright, I feel like that was too many to do at once, but yeah, there's a lot of, um, you know, oh, we went to the movies, and then, you know, they come home and they have sex. And you definitely don't want to do too many where you're sticking your hands in glue on the other side of this. Which I think is what I'm doing. Either that or I'm sticking my finger where I lost a stone. Because one just fell off. And somebody's got a damn rooster. Which, whatever. Listen. By the time the rooster starts crowing, I've already been up for 6 hours. You know, I've sewn a custom wedding. Are you just like not just not on there at all. I've sewn a custom wedding gown for somebody. I've baked a loaf of bread. I've beat my clothes against the rock. Like, I've done everything by the time this rooster starts crowing. But the rooster has some sort of problem where he does not realize that once the sun's up, he don't gotta crow anymore. Like, you've done your biological job there. Like, go upstairs and have days upon days of sex with your wife. But this rooster crows all day. Like, I'll be late. Like, I'll like take my afternoon nap in between making the wedding dress and waiting for the bread to rise, and he is just like, and I'm like, So then I gotta get back on the streets and say, hi, I'm required by law to tell you to get rid of your freaking rooster. This ain't the country. Here's a recipe for cocoa van. Is it the one that uses the rooster? I think so. It's so annoying. Alright, now with this precision tip, which is a little more precision-y, I'm going to come through here and put glue everywhere there isn't a crystal. And generously. I mean, her Halloween's like the perfect time to murder somebody, right? I hope it never snap and kill. I hope nobody ever kills those kids because they're going to be like, sir, we went through a couple of your past little YouTube videos and you threatened to kill these children on multiple occasions. And I'll be like, you know what? I didn't do it, but I'm willing to go to jail for the rest of my life just to help out the person who finally did it. Because that is the kind of good person I am. Alright. I'm going to bring in my... something is not stuck. Oh, you son of a... Really? Okay. I'm going to bring these in close because they are going to bounce all over the place Actually, can I just kind of... Oh, look at that. Last time I like sprinkled them on and they just went every freaking where. Because they bounced off the glass, they hit the porcelain thing, and then they bounced even more. Oh, that worked really well. See, when you do that, they just kind of... Oh, I am losing stones left and right. Alright, so I've coated the entire top part. Hold on, y'all. I don't know what I'm trying to do this for. I've coated the entire top part with the gems, the glass gems. And now last time I went in, did this, and then went in with even smaller crystals. Where are those at? Those are over... Well, where are they? Oh, here they are. I know it just looks like glitter in there, but those are actually teeny tiny little stones. I went in and did this next step with them, but they were... It was just like too much. So I'm going in, going up to where I left off, and then I'm just bringing some little... Like bringing that down. So it helps to fill in some of those blank spaces, but it still just kind of gradiates down. And last time I did this, these were like popped all over the place, and I went through and picked up every single one of them before I vacuumed. Which I will do again, because it's not like I can just order them on Amazon. I actually have to go to Hobby Lobby to get them. Which, oh no, I don't want to have to go to Hobby Lobby 3 or 4 times a week. I kind of do want to go to Hobby Lobby, because y'all, I am a crochet maniac. I am crocheting the most insane sweater right now. It's called the Marigold sweater. It is, not for the faint of hearted. And I'm like, you know, I barely know what I'm doing. I feel like I can do this advanced project. And like, yeah, the actual sweater part of it was fine, but the sleeves are like, all puff stitches, and it is just, it is like crazy. My mom asked me last night, she's like, I talked to her at lunch, she's like, what are you doing? I was like, I'm working on these sleeves. She's like, you were doing that at lunch? And I was like, I know. And this morning she was like, what'd you end up doing last night? And I was like, working on these sleeves. And today she's like, did you finish the sleeves? And I was like, no, Mom, quit asking me about the damn sleeves. I haven't even finished one yet. But I think it's important to try to do things that you like you don't know, because you don't know how hard it is until you do it. Yeah, because I would have looked at that pattern. First of all, it's an actual pattern. There's no like video tutorial to go with it. And I am not so good at following crochet patterns because I don't understand them. I'm like, wait, you want me to chain 152? And it's just, it's a lot. But it looks so good so far. So yeah, I want to do a video on that. Just not so much like, hey, look at me crocheting this sweater, but there's not a lot of videos on the actual sweater, like the people constructing it. And I know I can't like show the pattern or anything, but I might record a little bit of that. Okay, there we go. That was a lot. But I mean, it's super pretty. I'm going to put that right there, and this is a little magic of television. Don't forget that that one's right there. This is what it'll look like when it's all dry. This one also has a little micro crystals on them. These, but yeah, they were just. I mean, that's probably like 100 of them right there on my finger. They were just. It was a lot to work with, but they did fill in all the little gaps between. This one's still just. And you don't like, if you're like, oh, let me spray something, don't spray anything over the top of these glass crystals because it will dull the sparkle. I would just go like this over and over again. And yes, this may seem like, oh my god, who's actually going to do that? People who can't afford to buy these in the store. That's who. I don't know if it's showing up on... Can you kind of see it? How it's... Maybe? How sparkly it is. But yeah, that's that. So, before I go, I just want to show you where this started out. So this is the first one I did because I really wanted to use the crystal vitriol because they are just so pretty. And I was trying to incorporate some sequins, and it's not bad, but whatever. And then I did this one, and I was like, okay, I really like this one. I don't think there's anything wrong with this one, but these crystals, like, I know they all look... Can I put it down here, maybe? Does that help? I know they all look like they're a bunch of different colors. They're all the same color. It's just whichever way the light hits it is the color it's reflecting. So some of them look blue, some of them look green, some of them look orange or red or pink or whatever. But yeah, I do like the concentration of this one. And then from that, I went to... I think this is the one I did on the live with the resin that was just a complete... You gotta be freaking kidding me. That was like a complete disaster, but I think if I went back and filled in with these crystals, the faceted stones, it would look a lot better. And then I did this one for the first video, so you can see me putting on these teeny tiny ridiculous micro crystals, and then this is the one we just did. So each one, I mean, these are pretty similar. I think this just looks more like faded out because I use the smaller crystals, but whatever. It's sparkly, they're wicked sparkly, and that's all that matters at the end of the day, I guess. So yeah, that one's on Patreon. No, that one's on YouTube. That's the one you're watching. That one's on Patreon. I deleted the one where I did. Where is that one? Is that it? No? No? This is the one I deleted because it was... My tripod was broken. It was a mess. I was like, no, y'all, I can't put this on my channel. I think the next way I'm going to try it is to take the glue and just work in sections and just like smear a bunch of it on, put my stones in so I don't have to worry. If there's enough glue, they'll stick, but I don't always get enough glue. So there we go. Thanks for watching. And I will see you guys later. And please let me know if you try this ridiculous craft, because why not? Alright guys, I'll see you later. Bye.